Good afternoon, Mariachi. This is Mr. Ramos here. We're here talking to the beginner guitar class. Hope everybody is doing good. I wanted to make this video for you guys. Your assignment is going to be due next Monday, and it's going to be on the song Cielito, Lindo, which I'm going to go over today. And hopefully, you guys have the chance to practice and give me a solid recording of the song for you guys. Okay. Um, Very quickly, let's talk a little bit about Cielito Lindo, where it comes from and what it is. Cielito Lindo is a song that originated in a movie, a Mexican movie from the golden age of cinema of Mexico, which was like in the 30s, 40s, and the 50s. And this song quickly became very, very popular around Mexico, and it was adopted as one of the anthems of Mexican music quickly as the years went by, and it's still sung today. You know, people still know what song this is, and so it's a really important song from Mexico. It's called Cielito Lindo. If you go down a little bit on the music, go in and try to have your music up as we do this video, so you can kind of look and see what I'm talking about. Your music says vihuela/guitar, because this is gonna be both for vihuela and guitar. Right from the beginning, we see a treble clef, and then we know that we're in treble clef. Above that, we have a word that says allegro, and allegro means upbeat, and you have a small little quarter note with an equal sign, and then you have 160. Now that means that the quarter note is going to equal to 160 beats per minute. That means that's how fast we're going to eventually go. Now to practice the song, for now we're going to go probably around. We'll start off with 70 beats per minute, and then we'll work our way up faster and faster to eventually get to 160. So that's really important that you understand that. So the better you get at this, at 70, you start going up a little bit faster, and you want to get to 160 eventually. So that's make sure you guys take note of that. After the treble clef, you have a symbol, a sharp sign there. It's if you have one sharp, it's gonna always be F sharp. The sharps always follow a pattern depending on how many there is on your music. So if you have one sharp, it's always going to be F sharp. If you have two sharps, it's always going to be F sharp and C sharp. If you have three sharps, it's always going to be F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And then after that, four sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Five sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. Six sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. And then finally, seven sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. There's seven sharps that we have here, and it always follows that pattern: F, C, G, D, A, E, B. A good way to remember that the order of sharps is by saying, fat cats get, fat cats go down alleys eating burritos. Fat cats go down alleys eating burritos. That's one way you can remember that order of sharps. And here we only have one sharp, F sharp. Now, what does that mean? That means that we're in, if you see one sharp, that means that we're in the key of G. So the key of G has one sharp, F sharp. Key of G, one sharp, F sharp. It's a very simple way to remember it. Key of G, one sharp, F sharp. Always remember that. So if you see one sharp, you're in the key of G. Now, the next thing we stay at, that's called the key signature. The next thing we see is the time signature. 3/4. That means there's 3 beats in the measure, and the quarter note gets 1 beat. We talked about this at the beginning of the school year. So 3 beats in the measure, quarter note gets 1 beat. That means there's going to be, every measure has 3 beats. And then that's going to be a little bit of what we talked. That's the basics of what the song is going to pertain to, the rhythm wise and so forth. Now let's get right into the music here. In the very beginning, we have a quarter rest to 2 quarter notes. So very simple: rest, 2, 3, and that's going to be the pattern of the entire song. This is going to be pretty easy for you guys, because this is similar to Vals 1 and similar to Noche de Paz. And we do have a song that's going to be a little different on here, so we'll work on that another week. But this is the one we're going to be doing for now. I want to get something easy going for you guys, so you can be able to give me a good recording. The tempo needs to be set, like I said earlier, at 70 beats per minute. And I'm going to go ahead and count for you the first 8 measures. Now your assignment is going to be from measures 1 through 18. and you stop at 19, don't go on to 19. So it's going to be pretty easy for you guys. So just make sure that you give me a good solid recording. So quick basics that maybe we have forgotten. Don't forget where to strum on the guitar. You strum back here. You strum through the guitar. Right back here. And also make sure that your chords are correct. G. Okay, we have G here. And then we have G7, G, G7, C. We got the C here. E7 is like this. Okay. I have to angle it a little different. E7. Like that. A minor, you should know from Vibes 1. D7, and then back to G. Okay, those are the chords that we have. I'm gonna go ahead and count the first 8 measures, and then we'll play the first 8 measures, and then I'll play through the whole thing. 70 beats per minute here. 1, 2, 3, here I go, and rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, measure 5, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, and that's measure 8. Then to measure 8. Simple, guys. Now the chords are what may be a little tricky because you're going from one chord, you're changing from one chord to the other fairly quickly. You only have one chord rest to change. So a good thing to practice for this is just make sure you're practicing. Then okay, practice moving from G7 to C, and then E7, and so forth. Okay, very important that we get to practice those movements. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna do this recording again. This time with the metronome, and just try to stay on time. I'm gonna go from the very beginning all the way to measure 18, and it's important to tap your foot so you can stay on time. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, and rest. 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 Measure 10, rest. 11. Rest. 13. 14. 15. Rest. 17. 18. Okay. That was the recording there. Again, it's not very difficult. You just got to make sure you're working on G to G7, and then C, and then E7. That very beginning part is where it gets a little tricky. G, G7, C, E7, and then A minor. Okay? That's going to be the trickiest part of the whole intro part, and then after that, you guys should be okay. Again, don't forget, make sure that you're using a pick, and make sure you're strumming in the correct spot. Give me a nice, clear sound. Remember, your chords need to sound very clear. You need to be able to hear every string. Right? Stand firmly. Okay? Very important to practice that. And that's pretty much it for you guys. It's not very difficult. Just take your time, practice, record, and re-record. Record it, listen to it. Give me the absolute best you can, and it's very important to stay on that metronome. Tap your foot, rest. 2, 3, right on the clicks. 2, 3. So you really, really get practice that and record that for me. All right? Happy practicing.